This blueberry muffin recipe is one of the most popular pages on my website. They turn out so perfect with that bakery style burst in the middle, and they're brimming with juicy blueberries. This is honestly the best blueberry muffin recipe I've ever made. And if you stick around long enough, I'll even show you how to make your own muffin liners. I'm gonna start with 6 tablespoons of butter. If you're going by grams, this is 84 grams. And this is really, really soft. You can use an electric mixer if you want, but if your butter's really soft like this, doing it by hand will be pretty easy. So I'm just creaming it for a second here, and now I'm gonna add 1 cup of sugar. So you just wanna add it gradually, maybe a quarter at a time. So just keep mixing that. And 1 cup of sugar is 200 grams. So just add more and mix it really well. So we'll just do that, or we'll add the rest. There we go. This is a really important step because creaming the butter and the sugar together a little bit in the beginning like this will help aerate the batter, and that's what makes it light and fluffy. You'll see this step in a lot of cake recipes. So once it's kind of creamy like this, I'm gonna add 2 eggs, 1 at a time. And you wanna beat that first one in really well before you add the second one. Now we're gonna add number 2. There we go. Wow. Just like that. All right, so once it's all nice and smooth like this, we're gonna add a 1/4 cup or about 60 grams of sour cream. You can also use Greek yogurt or any plain yogurt. I'm gonna add that in there. I'm also going to add in 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Whoops. Got a little bit of extra in there, but that's okay. And about 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. And I'm just measuring with my heart. All right, we're gonna mix that really well. Whoa, wait a minute. And I almost forgot, we need a 1/4 cup of milk. Wow, don't leave out that milk. That was close. All right, now I'm going to weigh out 300 grams of flour. So that's about 2.5 cups. Get that. And it's the one ingredient that I like to actually weigh. Ooh, I'm 5 grams over. Now I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And now this is 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So now I'm gonna whisk this so it gets all nice and incorporated. All right, now we're going to add our blueberries. Right here I have 1 cup of fresh blueberries. You can either use fresh or frozen. Both of them work great. And I'm actually going to use both fresh and frozen because these muffins are much better when you use 1.5 cups of blueberries. So just gonna eyeball about 1/2 cup. And these ones are frozen. There we go, that's about 1/2 cup. I'm gonna mix this so that the blueberries get all coated with that flour. And this is a really good thing to do because quite often it can prevent the berries from sinking to the bottom of the muffins. We're just gonna start slowly adding that dry mixture into the butter mixture. So that's a little bit there. We're gonna add a bit more. Okay, this looks really nice. It's almost all of it, and that's the rest. All right, so for this part, you don't want to over mix it. You just want to mix those dry ingredients in until you can't see any traces of flour left. So this looks like we're about there, and Before I get these into the oven, I have to get a pan ready. So I have a 6-cup muffin pan. This is a jumbo muffin pan. If you're doing regular size muffins like this one here, then you would get 12 muffins. But if you're making jumbos, you're gonna get 6. So you have an option. You can either grease and flour these, or you can line them with cups if you have the right size cups. I'm gonna line this with cups, but I'm gonna make my own. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. You're gonna need to cut out some parchment paper squares. So if you're doing jumbo muffins, you want them to be about 7 or 8 inches or so. If you're doing the smaller muffin cups for the regular size, you need about 6-inch squares. So the first thing you wanna do is take your square and simply fold it in half 2 times. So once this way, and your squares don't have to be perfect at all. Okay, just like that. Okay, and you want to make nice sharp creases. So now we're going to unfold it, and I'm going to cut about 2/3 of the way down each of these folds towards the center. So just going to go about 2/3. Again, it doesn't have to be super exact. 2/3, like so, and like so. And now you want to make a little bit of a crease. This step is optional, but I always like to make a little fold going from each end of the cut to the other. So I'm just going to fold it where that cut ends. Make a nice little fold there. That just kind of helps things out a little bit. You don't have to do this step, these folds, but you'll see in a second. Now I'm going to take my muffin tin, and with the curls going upward, I'm just going to push this in the middle with my finger. So you're going for the center of the bottom of that cup. And then you just press really firmly with your fingers on the corner of that. Just press it down firmly, and it kind of forms itself. You can kind of play around with the overlapping of the folds, but this is really probably going to happen automatically, and it almost looks like a little tulip. So that's a nice little trick. So now just go ahead and do that to the rest of your cups. They take a little practice. Just press really firmly in that corner to almost form a little bit of a crease, and by your 5th or 6th one, you'll be really good at it. Wow, it's so bakery style. Now I'm going to use an ice cream scoop to scoop the batter into the cups. If the papers are kind of getting in the way, you just kind of move them around with your fingers, and by the time you get batter in there, they kind of fall into place. So I'm putting about 2 scoops in each one so far. I just want to evenly divide this among all the cups. You want them to be overfilled. I know a lot of recipes say to fill them 2/3 or 3/4, but you don't do that with this one. You fill these right to the top and even beyond. Use the spatula to sort of get all of it in there. I think these are more or less even. You just have to kind of look for the ones that need more when you get to the end. All right, now I'm going to try and sort of smooth these down a little bit. Just kind of level them off and double check that there's an even distribution, because I think we chinsed out on him. Now I purposely did not preheat my oven yet. I'm going to preheat it now to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. The reason why I'm waiting till now to preheat it is because I don't mind if these muffins sit for about 10-20 minutes before they get baked. I found that when you let muffin batter sit for a while, like maybe 30 minutes before you bake it, you can even put it in the fridge overnight. It kind of improves and almost makes a better tasting, somewhat fluffier muffin. So another little trick to remember, I'm going to preheat the oven, and we have one more thing to do before we bake these. This here is turbinado sugar. It's kind of a light golden brown sugar. It's not clumpy, it's very granular. I really love sprinkling this on muffins and scones. It really adds a lot of nice texture. There we go. So now I'm going to bake these for 25 to 30 minutes. And this is what they look like when they come out. Aren't they beautiful? These papers make them look so good. Now, to be sure that these are done, you just take a skewer and stick it into one of the muffins. And if it comes out clean, then they're fully cooked. You can also just kind of press on it, and usually you can tell if it needs more baking, but these are good. So I'm gonna let these cool for about 5 minutes in the pan before I take them out. And then they'll just come out really easily. So we'll just put them all on there. Wow, look how lovely that looks. Ooh, they're still really hot. You can serve these warm, but I would let them cool for a little bit. So here we are. These muffins have basically cooled. It's been about an hour or so since they came out. Look at how really delicious that looks. I'm so happy how these turn out, and they're brimming with juicy blueberries. I'm pretty sure when you start making these blueberry muffins, you're gonna make them over and over again.